All right, man. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to the Arts and Chats podcast, man. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you. It's an honor as well.
So, for those who really do not know who you are, even for myself, because there are some questions that I have for you here. I'm really curious about, but do not be worried about that.
Okay, sure.
So, first one off, who is Wesley? Who is Wesley Balland? Where were you born? When were you born? And how and when was your first contact with a foreign language?
All right. Well, I was born in Rio, 1992. So it means that I'm about to turn 33. Okay, in a few days.
Sorry,
Yeah.
All right.
I'm old. And my first contact with English or with languages, in this case, it was English. It was not exactly the first contact because we all have this contact with English all the time because of songs. So we are born to that, right? We have that contact somehow. But I was 15 years old when I decided to study English, and after English, I learned some other languages on my own.
Well, one thing, why exactly did you decide to start learning English?
I loved music, so I think music has a lot to do with this interest of learning languages, especially English. So I wanted to understand the lyrics. I wanted to understand the songs I liked. But I've always liked to communicate. I've always liked to
Yeah.
talk. So
So music, but back then, do you remember what were you listening to, back then?
yes, I do. I was listening to Elvis Presley.
Elvis, all right.
Yeah, I love Elvis Presley. I was a teenager, so I liked Avril Lavigne as well.
Man, I'm so talking
Yeah,
to show. Avril Lavigne. All
Avril
right, man.
Lavigne. I really liked her. I really liked her.
Man,
Yeah.
I never thought that one was coming. But all right,
You didn't expect
go
that.
on.
Yeah, but come on. I told my wife that Avril Lavigne was kind of my teenage crush. You see?
Your teenage man. We all have one, right? We all have one.
Yeah. So yes, she was mine. I don't know. I liked her. I liked her music, but I don't know. I liked her as well.
All right. All right. But tell me one thing. What kind of a child were you or a teenager? Introvert, something like that, or used to hang out with friends all the time, playing on the streets, whatever, something like that?
One of my best friends when I was a child, and like turning teenager, was a cousin of mine. So we used to uh, ride our bikes around the neighborhood. We had some friends around. I used to play the guitar, so that's how I started. That's when I started learning how to play the guitar. But that was a little bit before I started with languages because I was 15. So
All right.
yeah, when I got started, so I was not living like close to this cousin of mine. I was in a different city. I didn't have many friends, but I had some friends. So I was not the kind of child that was always out, but I was sometimes with a bike, with my guitar. But
Video games, soccer.
yeah, with this cousin of mine. So soccer, I've never liked soccer. So
So can you say you were like the go-to guy when the subject was English back at your school?
I think so.
You think
I
so?
think
Because
so.
this kind of
Yeah.
happened to me a lot, man. When the subject was English, everyone came to me, So I pretty much imagine that for you was just the same.
Yeah, it kind of was like that when we had something to do, something to present that was related to English somehow. People would ask me questions, and I remember once we had to present something about bullying. We use the same word in Portuguese, so I explained the meaning of the word bullying. So people were like, "Wow, come on! So you know about that?" And yeah, my teacher, "Wow, so yeah, okay, good."
How many languages do you speak today?
6 languages, but at different levels. I speak, of course, Portuguese, my native language, English and Spanish fluently. I have kind of an advanced level in French, like the high intermediate or advanced.
Yeah, maybe just enough for you to get by or something like that.
Yeah, for me to
Just,
get by, but I make more mistakes. I don't know.
yeah,
I have less vocabulary.
man,
I
it's
speak some
something
German
that
and
I
Italian too.
it's something that I really admire about you because I don't imagine myself speaking, way more, maybe more than 3 languages. So comes the question, how do you go by studying so many different, languages?
Nowadays, it's really hard for me to study new languages. I would like to do it, but nowadays it's very complicated because of my responsibilities and my job. Although I work with that, you see, that it's like that's how I make a living. But it's really hard for me to dedicate to a new language. When I started, I was a teenager. I didn't have a job. I had just finished high school, so I had more time for that. So I would listen to music, radio. I really liked radio. I still like radio. And I used to talk with people from all the world on Skype. So that's how I practiced my languages. But I don't do that much nowadays. See, I don't have the chance to do that.
And one other thing, when did you realize you could form a business around that? When you could make money from speaking English, translating or things like that.
It kind of happened with time because learning languages was like a hobby. I didn't When I started that, I didn't think of a job. I didn't think of making money.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do that. You see, um, but at a certain point when I was starting to get older, I was like about 18. I was like, oh, I need a job. I need to
You know,
find
uh,
my path. You see, I
yeah.
liked languages and music, but I was very shy. So
All
it,
right.
it took me a long time to realize that I could teach because it's kind of hard for you to teach when you're very shy. But at a certain point, I was like, oh, come on. I actually like teaching. I like teaching people what I know, although I'm shy, and I like languages. So why not? So I think I should try it. So I looked for a course, and then after some time, after I don't know, a year, yeah, a year, I started teaching. I could already speak the language, so I started teaching English and then Spanish. I could speak Spanish back then too.
Yeah. And talking about teaching, for you, how was that? How did you feel?
First
Because
time,
it's kind of different when we study, yeah, when we're learning, but
mhm.
teaching, it's another level. So
Yeah,
how
it's a
was it for
gift.
you?
It's a
Yeah,
gift.
how yeah, how was it for you?
I don't know, man. The first time I did it was kind of funny. It was a language course, so the coordinator, she came to the classroom with me. She told me, "Oh, guys, come on! You used to have a teacher, but now this guy is not gonna teach you anymore, and we have this new teacher. That's Wesley. Come on!" And she left me, and I was like,
You started sweating,
"Yeah."
trembling all over.
I told people something that Elvis Presley said. I think it was
What?
his last concert. He said, "If you think I'm nervous, you're right." So
Yeah,
that's
nice way to start. Yeah,
yeah.
nice
So
way
come
to break
on,
the ice. All right.
yeah. So come on, guys. It's my first class, but it was pretty cool. It was I think a 15 student group. It was kind of a big group for me, but I have something. Doesn't mean that it always happens like that, but I have something that it's usually easy for me to connect with people. So I started speaking, and oh, come on! So, oh, what do you like to do? What do you do? So, come on! And I don't know, it was instant. So after a few minutes, I was okay. And it was like great experience. It was really good. I'll never forget this first group. It was really
So,
interesting.
so do you think teaching was a very good opportunity for you to level up your English?
Of course, I learned a lot. I learned a
How much
lot.
do you think?
I don't know. I didn't learn English by teaching, but I could improve it a lot, and I keep doing
Yeah,
it.
I
So
ask you that because of my experience teaching art, because I learned a lot from that experience of teaching, so I just imagine that for you was kind of the same. So you had to study the subject to break down, all the things that you had to teach, the grammar, pronunciation, and things like that.
yeah, when you teach, you have to break things down. So you have to really absorb
Yeah.
those things, and so you really learn those things. Like when you have to teach. So I think it helped me a lot with vocabulary. I tell people that teaching English was my excuse to keep practicing it. Not just English, but Spanish. I teach Spanish sometimes
Yeah,
too.
nice way to
So
put it, man. So what were the next languages that came, into your life, and how?
it's interesting because although I speak Spanish fluently, Spanish was not my third language.
No,
Yes, it was English. Then I started learning Russian, but I stopped.
Russian.
Yeah. Nowadays,
Fancy.
I just know a few words in Russian, like
Man, I love
"Привет."
the Russian accent, I love
Yeah.
the Russian accent. When you want to put the fear into someone, you just use the Russian accent, man. So
so
Russian.
yeah, so I stopped Russian, and then I started learning German actually, and then after German, Spanish. After like 3 years, maybe. No, 2 years. After 2 years, Spanish, and then French the following year. And the last one was Italian, but I started and stopped many times. So I can understand Italian really well
Yeah.
when somebody doesn't speak
So
that fast, but it's still very hard for me to express myself. So I learned Spanish after I started German, but I learned more Spanish than German. It took me a while to get conversational in German because it's a hard language.
So, other than teaching, where else were you able to use English or any kind of language, as a business, as a profession? Teacher, and then what?
I've done some translation jobs, like writing subtitles for videos, like
Oh,
on
okay.
YouTube.
Yeah,
So
I was thinking about, for example, those guys who translate, right there on the fly, live, because it's kind of difficult.
it is very difficult because when you don't have that, when you don't know the word, it's really hard. You
Yeah,
have to
and you
replace it
don't have
somehow.
the, yeah, and you don't have the time to process the information, and you just can
It's really
tell the
hard.
guy, "Hey, wait up, I have
Yeah,
to,"
they can't do
which
that.
is difficult. I really admire those guys.
I've worked for a travel agency as well. So, and most of my clients were from Spain, so I used a lot of Spanish. But the language that we used in the company was English, and we had some clients that spoke English too.
Do you have any sort of, for example, headache or problem that you had during that time? For example, something curious to talk about?
This job was all about problems because it was an emergency line for travelers. So
Man,
when they called us, like they didn't call us to say hello, good evening. No, come on. I arrived at a hotel and the hotel is closed. Help me,
fuck.
come on. And it's your fault. They didn't understand it was not my fault. Clients didn't understand it. So I had to call our provider and try to solve the problem. And sometimes the problem was not really related to a hotel, but about a transfer, so a car. And sometimes clients called me, "Oh, I'm waiting for you here in Spain." And I was like, "Oh, I'm not the driver." So I'm not the one that's going to pick you up, So I'm just the one working here on the phone. I'm gonna help you. I'll try to contact the driver, but I'm not the driver, okay? So It was kind of difficult. I remember once I got a call from a lady from the UK, but the call was horrible. It was awful. I couldn't understand her that well. And for every booking, for every reservation, we had a code. And she was saying something like, I heard P, like one of the letters. And I said, oh, P, like P for Papa. And she said, no, it's not P, it's B. It was like, oh my God, like, come on. She was screaming and she got crazy. I don't know. And I remember a travel agent. She was not a traveler. She was a travel agent from Portugal. She called the emergency line, and when she realized I was Brazilian, she said, oh, you guys from Brazil, you are very calm. We tend to solve things faster, you know. You are very calm. And say, okay, like, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I guess. So with your experience today, your background, if you could go back in time, you know, and meet the young Wesley, man, what do you think you would have to say, you know, to him as a piece of advice or something like, man, don't waste time doing this. If you want to do this, you know.
Interesting. I would tell myself that being afraid of what people think about you is not worth it at all. Because
make mistakes, right?
Sorry?
Make mistakes. Do not be afraid.
Yeah, make mistakes and be yourself. Don't try to be perfect and start. You have to get started somehow, someday. You see, you have to get started. If you don't do it, you'll never learn something. So for me to become a teacher, I had to start teaching, and I don't know. And some people like what you do, some people won't like what you do, and it's kind of normal. You just have to do your best. I don't know, and be yourself.
Of all these languages that you talk, that you speak, which country would you like to visit the most? Or maybe which country would you like to live in if you could pick one?
When I started, I wanted to live in the United States. I was really young.
You were a teenager, all right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Let's leave out the United States, man.
Yeah, but I don't have that dream anymore. That's not because you're saying.
Why not?
I like English. I really like the language. You see, I've always learned American English. I like American English, but I like British English as well. But it doesn't make me want to be American. You see, so I like being Brazilian, and I really like English, but I don't feel that I have to live in the United States. I don't know. It's something that changed time. I really like South America, Latin America. Okay, so I really like Spanish. I like the different accents of Spanish we have in America and Latin America. And I don't know. I'd like to keep visiting some countries we have here. I've already visited Argentina, Chile, and Uruguay. So those countries are really cool. I'd like to visit some other countries as well.
Yeah, sounds cool. You know, to be able to travel around all the time. That's kind of a dream, right? Kind of a dream.
Yeah, but I don't think that much about living somewhere else anymore. I think Brazil works for me.
Yeah, I think so, and I think the same. I really feel the same because I really love my country. Even though I like to travel around, I like to know about other cultures and things like that. Man, I really love the country where I was born. You know, all we can complain about is, for example, security, safety. I don't know. It's a violent country, you know, politics. But other than that, it's an amazing country, amazing people. We are blessed, man.
But sometimes you have to learn other languages. You have to learn about other cultures in order to see your own place, your own country, and admire it. So when I was a teenager and I started learning languages, I was like, oh, come on, I don't want to be Brazilian anymore. I don't want to speak Portuguese anymore. But after some time, I was like, oh, come on, Brazil is a good place. and Portuguese is a beautiful language too, you know. So, but I like mixing things. I like to learn about different cultures and absorb what I think is interesting. I listen to a lot of Argentinian music. And of course, American music, British music. I don't know. I like that. I like mixing things, cultures. You see, and I like that.
Yeah. Do you have, for example, a lifetime dream for you to fulfill before you die? Something like that? Something you really have to do before you die, before you go?
My dream was visiting at least one country, one different country. And I did that. So that's a good question. I don't know. Do I have dreams? I have dreams, but not like at that level. Like you see, like a life dream. I don't know. I'd like to live in a place that's similar to the countryside, but not 100% like countryside. I would like to be isolated, but I think this countryside life is good, calm. So,
But
yeah.
not so far away from a big
The
city,
city.
from the capital or something like that.
I'd like to have something like in the middle of it, like a little
Maybe
side.
2 hours, 2 hours away from the city.
Maybe even less than that. Even less. I like the countryside, but I like some aspects of the city as well. But what I would like to have is a place for me to plant and maybe have some animals. I don't know, my own place. I think I think that would be good.
Yeah, and another good thing, curious thing. I other than English or languages in general, I see that, for example, you play guitar,
Mhm.
you like drawing. So
Mhm.
if you were not a language teacher, what profession do you imagine yourself working at?
Maybe a musician, not a singer. I don't think I'm a good singer, although I like it. I love singing, but maybe a guitar player. I don't know, songwriter. I like writing songs. I'm not sure about drawing or painting because I think I'm not patient enough to.
Yeah, but you're into art, right? You kind of
Yeah,
love it.
I am. But I had to choose a profession, so nowadays I don't have much time for that. And I think focus is good. So I chose my profession and I try to focus on that and not because in my case, distraction can be bad somehow. Not that art is bad. No, for goodness sake, no, but I try to concentrate. I still love art. I love drawing. I love playing the guitar, but I try to concentrate on languages, at least English and Spanish.
But today, I mean, it's really interesting because for guys like us who saw the whole change from, for example, from when we only had, access to English, for example, through movies or music, radio, I don't know. And today we have so many different ways to be in contact with cultures, languages, it's so much easier today. How do you feel about that, about this whole change?
I think it's pretty good. So if you really want to learn a language or different languages, you can simply look for ways to practice it on the internet. It's good to have a team as well.
Yeah, and how was it for you to study English, for example, when back then?
I had a book. It was a book with like 10 different subjects. So Portuguese, Brazilian history, general history, Spanish, English, and some other things like technology. So that's where I learned my first sentences, my first words in English. But I think a few months after that, my father bought me my first computer. So I started using the internet. So I found a website that I love. I still do. That's VOA, Voice of America. It's a radio channel from the USA, but they broadcast to the whole world. So you have reports in English, and they speak slowly. They use a special words. You see, special vocabulary for that. So it was really good for me. So I would look for those reports and repeat them as many times as I needed. So when I was comfortable with that, I would look for another one. So the internet back then was not what it is nowadays. It was not as fast as
Yeah,
it is
yes,
nowadays.
I
Yeah.
remember that, man. was kind of a pain in the ass. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, so
Today,
we had to
it's
wait for
also,
midnight to access the
yeah, today
internet.
it's also fast. It's also fast today.
Yeah, but it was really good. The internet was very important for my learning. You see, it was very important. So yeah.
And since we started this topic going, about technology and things like that, what do you have to say about AI, and the implications on language learning, in your opinion?
I think we can use AI as a very good tool. It doesn't matter if you're a teacher or somebody who's learning a language. I think we can use it in a good way. But I think we shouldn't neglect human contact. I think it's totally okay if you want to learn a language on your own. You don't want to have a teacher, because I didn't learn English or the other languages from teachers. So I studied those languages later when I wanted to teach. So I decided to.
And let's be honest, man. If we had if we back then had this sort of, resources, maybe we would be using them as well, but we just didn't, right?
To learn languages, do you mean?
Yeah, to learn languages. If we could use, the same things that we
I
have
would use that.
today.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Sometimes I hold conversations with AI. I think it's good. So I cannot criticize people who do that. It's bad for me when they don't want to have classes with a real teacher, but I kind of understand them.
Yeah, I really think this human contact, it's really important. It's really important.
It is. It is. AI is not. It's my opinion. I think AI is still not as good as a teacher. It can be in the future, but right now, I don't think it is. You have some flaws. You see, and it scares me, the idea that maybe I'll lose my job because of AI. But for now, AI is a friend.
Maybe you will just have to adapt yourself to the new reality. Maybe
Yeah.
just.
Yeah, maybe some people are gonna choose AI instead of a teacher, but I think some people are still gonna prefer to learn from a teacher. So I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah, it's very interesting, man. And man, before we wrap this one up, I have one other thing to ask you.
Hmm.
And knowing that we are going to be dead, in maybe 100 years or 50 years, I don't know. We will die someday, anyway,
Yeah.
all of us. What
I
would
didn't know
you?
that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man, come on.
Really?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Well, what do you want to have written on your tombstone? What's going to be your epitaph?
I've never thought of that. I've never
Think
thought of
about
that.
it now, man.
I don't know. Don't step on me.
Right? That's that on me. Nice one, man. A
Yeah.
nice one. Yeah. And one last thing before we wrap this up is, since I am a tattoo artist, what's the tattoo you would do now?
Wow.
Now,
I'll tell you
right
something
now.
that maybe is not that good
Don't
for
think too
you.
much. Just say it.
I
Now.
actually, I wouldn't like to have a tattoo on me. I'm sorry. Because
No, you don't have pretty much of a choice, man. You just have to
I have to
whatever.
choose one. If I have to choose one, I don't
Yeah,
know.
you have to.
Okay,
I hold a gun against your head, man.
okay, I'll have to.
Or
Okay,
whatever. Choose now. Which tattoo?
let me see. I don't know. Maybe a guitar, a piano, something related to music. If I
All
had
right.
one, that would be like that. But
Yeah, good to know, man.
yeah, maybe. I've never had this dream of having a tattoo. I don't know why, but I'm sorry. But I don't feel like having a
Man,
tattoo.
you
I
don't
don't have
have to make
tattoos.
it. Yeah, you don't have to make it come true, man. It's just a question because I am not an artist, and I was really curious about
Yeah.
that.
I don't
Man,
know.
so yeah, it's amazing. And anyway, man, and it was awesome, man. It was really amazing, man. And so we can wrap this one up.
Okay,
And
yeah.
all I can tell you, man, is thank you very much. And I admire you a lot, man. As a student of yours, and as a friend of yours, it was very interesting conversation. I had the opportunity to ask this crazy questions, and
It was great. It was great. I think you were a very good interviewer. So it was
and
awesome. I like your questions, and I
um,
admire you a lot as well. You know that. So
do you have a piece of advice for those who really want to start learning a language right now? So you can leave that down.
I think people, yeah. What I would say is just like be in touch with the language. You see, like try to surround yourself with the language you want to learn. Try to bring it to your daily life.
Yeah,
Listen
nice
to
one.
podcasts. Listen to music, but pay attention to the lyrics. And when you're ready, when you have that amount of vocabulary, speak. Don't be afraid of making mistakes.
Yeah,
Just speak. So that's it. That's it.
nice one, man. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
That's all
So
for today. And thank you very
that
much
was
for being on the show, man. It was a pleasure. Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you.